everybody, I want to welcome you out to the show today. Thank you for stopping by. Before we get started with our interview today, just wanted to remind everybody that we do have the tattoo submission going on. If you have a tattoo that you like, you think looks great, has a great story behind it, please email me at soberontwowheels@gmail.com. soberontwoWheels@gmail.com. All one word. What we'll do is we'll take submissions, we'll put it in to the videos, talk about it, say who sent it, and we'll get it out to everybody. Obviously, I love ink, so yeah. Hey everybody, I just want to let everybody know we got our first of a couple tattoo submissions, and this first one was sent in by Carp, and the reason why I picked this one as our first one is he actually talked about this during our podcast, so I thought I'd present it to you guys, and we'll go start the process, man. I'm really excited about this. I know the audio is a little different than the rest of the video, but I didn't really have time to do the whole audio thing and mix it down and all that, so I just wanted to kind of shoot from the hip and be like, hey, this is what I got, this is what we're doing. So the backstory to this tattoo is a guy was celebrating 10 years clean and sober, and Carp at that time had no time. And, he kind of went up to the guy and he was like, hey man, how'd you do it? And the guy said to him, hey, if you do these two things, you'll get to 10 years too. Don't use, don't die. So later on, Carp actually got his 10 years and, he went and got this tattoo, and he basically, don't use, or he didn't die, 10 years, thanks Hank. And, Hank was the guy that, kind of put the bug into Carp's head. And, I know he's real proud of this tattoo. And I'm going to see if, he sent it to me, it was backwards. So I'm going to try to flip it around. Hopefully it is. If not, you still get what it looks like and the meaning behind it. So I hope you guys all enjoy it. Please, guys, don't forget, keep submitting. I do have a couple more that actually had some people submit. So if you're out there, you're listening, you want your tattoo featured on the show, please feel free. soberontwoWheels@gmail.com. Thanks for your time. Enjoy the rest of the show. And with that, I want to welcome to the show Joe W. I've known Joe short time, actually, which is kind of why I wanted to bring you on the show. My theory was that we've had a bunch of guys on the show that I know really, really well, that have like a shit ton of time.
Yeah.
And, I think it's cool to have some people mixed in that are short timers, because I would hope that there's some people out there that are still green, that are just getting into it, and they can see maybe some of the stuff you're going through is some of the stuff that they're going through.
Yeah.
And, look, man, I know I asked you about doing this and you're like, I don't know if I have a great story, but look, everybody's got a good story. Okay. Some guys have, worse stories, more war, stories, but everybody's got a story.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, the first time I was ever asked to speak, it was interesting because I said the same thing. But at the time, the guy that was sponsoring me said to me, hey man, you know what? Everybody's got a story, and there might be somebody out there that's sitting in that group right now that's in the same position as you, has the same kind of story as you, that needs to hear it.
Yeah.
And that's why I said to you, well, look, dude, let's just go over the basics. Boom. How long this? How long this? Hey, man, there you go. There's your story. That's good enough.
Yeah.
Because, look, dude, not everybody, I'm one of them, okay? I didn't lose my house. I didn't lose my wife. I didn't lose my job. Now, I could have if I would have kept going.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I probably would have died first, to be honest with you. That's how bad shape I was, health-wise. But, hey, man. So welcome to the show, man.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm honored, really. Seriously.
Right on, man. I know you had to work today, and I appreciate you coming in after work, dude. Guys working on Sunday, man. What the hell? But no, I do appreciate it, man. Let's start off with your sobriety, dude. Like, how old were you when you started and got,
So the first time I found the rooms was, I guess it was December of 2020. So I was 26, 25. Okay. I think I was 25, almost 26 when I first found my way into the rooms. And, I stayed for a couple months, didn't do any work, found a sponsor who didn't do any work, and would kind of co-sign my bullshit,
Okay.
And, I didn't put any work into the program, so I didn't really get anything out. Like, speaking from the floor in a meeting for me back then was all war stories. Like, I almost got high off of raising my hand and making the whole room laugh at some outlandish story that I had.
Yeah.
That they were all based in truth, but they were all also
embellished,
exaggerated.
Yeah. Well, okay.
And then I went back out for a few months. Things didn't really get that bad. I kept my job. I damaged some relationships, but I didn't lose any. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like the first time I went to rehab. Like, I was at my lowest.
Right.
And I went to court for a traffic ticket knowing that I was on the run from probation. For some reason, I was still taking care of traffic violations while I was out getting high. That was that was honestly my mom and this girl I was with at the time that were like pushing me, because I had like 28 traffic violations that turned into warrants, and they were like, you need to take care of this crap, and I went into court on September 2nd 2020, and the state cop would, we went through. He actually dropped all the traffic stuff, and then he walked over. He's like, put your hands behind your back.
Oh, wow.
So, I went to jail for almost 3 months, and then my PO sent me to rehab. And I'm grateful for that. I was so pissed at the time. Like, I tried to use my mom as a home plan, and my mom was like, yeah, no, he's been getting high. He's not coming back here. And I was so pissed. But, like, now I'm so grateful.
At that point, you probably burned all the bridges, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, look, dude, unfortunately, that's part of a lot of people's stories. Family gets wrapped into it. And, whether we think it's not, or it's gonna or not, they do.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, that's why it kind of annoys me when there's some channels out there that, all they're doing is posting videos of downtown, Kensington.
Yeah.
And they're, and it's like, dude, that's somebody's kid, mom, aunt, daughter, whatever. And, I don't mind the guys that are out there trying to interview people and then they're trying to get them help, or maybe interviewing them to get people to see them. So maybe their family's looking for them.
Yeah.
Different story, man. But the guys that are posting the videos just to make fun of them, man, that's horrible, dude. Because families do get wrapped into this, dude. I mean, like, me personally, my dad had died when I was 19, so it was my mom and my sister, and my brother, Jack. He's not really my brother, but he's been with my family for a long time.
Yeah.
He had finally gotten clean and sober and stuff like that. So, those guys, the immediate family was like, look, dude, you're getting pretty bad here, man. You might want to, man, I'm fine. So, fortunately enough that I wasn't in a position where I was like maybe stealing from family and stuff like that, thank God. But so, no, I get that, man. I could see where your mom would be like, nah, dude, you already burnt that bridge, dude.
Well, honestly, so, she's had, I think the most she ever had was 17 years. She's got a little bit more time than me now. I think she's almost at 18 months. But she's been in and out of the room since I was a baby. Wow. Like 2 years old. Okay. So, she kind of knew.
She knows the game.
Yeah. So she knew, like, she had to stop enabling me. Or I was going to, left to my own devices, I wouldn't have stopped getting high until I lost everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah, man, it's sad too, dude. It's especially I can't even fathom what it would be like to watch your kid do that. I don't have kids, so I don't really have anything to relate it to, but I've seen friends of mine that have watched their kids, go through it, or pass away.
Yeah.
I mean, that nobody should have to bury their kid. That's horrible.
It's one of my biggest fears.
Yeah, man.
Because I have a 5-year-old,
Yeah. Well, look, dude, that alone right there should be enough for you to be like, yeah, I got to get my shit together, dude. I got to, you are in charge of somebody's life now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That. You couldn't ask for a bigger wake-up call.
No. I mean, honestly, if it wasn't for her, I'd be dead or in prison. For sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
that little person's relying on you. That's fucking hardcore, dude.
Yeah. Unfortunately, she wasn't enough for me to get clean.
Mm-hmm.
But she was enough for me to like slow down from the things I was doing before she was born.
Yeah, but you know what? The way I look at it is, maybe this time around, you get enough clean time, you get your head straight, you go through the getting your emotions and shit back, which is sucked for me at the beginning.
Fun. It's so much fun.
Yeah. But then you go, you know what, man? Now I see it with a clear head. I'm going, hey, man, all right, look, dude, I got this little person that relies on me for, food, clothes, parenting, dude, that's, so how much time you got now, man?
So I have a little over a year. My clean date is July 19th, 2021.
Awesome, dude. Congrats, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, is this the longest strand that you've had?
Yes.
Dude, there you go.
Other than, the 12
other
years.
than before you started.
Yeah, 12 years
no,
before I started.
Is that how old you were when you started
Yeah.
getting? Okay.
Yeah.
And then did you start off doing drugs, or did you start off drinking and stuff?
Smoking weed, drinking.
Smoking weed, yeah.
I think
that sucks, dude, because that's where everybody wants to go. It's the gateway. Not really, dude. I don't believe that at all, but you might, a lot of people have varying opinions on that.
I mean, my little brother and my little sister both are able to just smoke pot.
Yeah, but see,
but they're not addicts.
I have people in my life that can actually have a beer or drink wine at dinner.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. I have an allergic reaction that, as soon as alcohol touches my lips, dude, I turn into fucking Frank the Tank from Old School.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like there's no stop, man. It's like, bam, I'm going.
Yeah.
And then I wake up the next day going, okay, I made it home. All right, dude, I got all my clothes on. Look out the window. All right, dude, my car's out there.
No scratches, huh?
Yeah. Then, even if after I checked off all those boxes, usually I got to the end box where I was like, do I have to call and apologize to anybody? That was the one.
Yeah.
That was the one that got me at the end. That was the one that I went, okay, dude, this is, I have to straighten my shit out like ASAP.
Yeah.
Because I may have not lost a marriage or my house or my job or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was treading on some serious thin ice, dude. And that would have been bad, I just happened to be at that point in my life where I think I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. Okay, so you're an NA guy?
Yep.
And you do NA program?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I have an NA sponsor, NA home group.
Right
on my 4th step right now, actually.
Cool. Oh.
Well, so it's funny. I was talking to somebody last night about it, and like so many people are like, "Oh, the 4th step, it sucks," and I'm like, "Dude, it's all stuff that I did or that happened to me. I know it all."
Yeah.
Like the thing that I love about the 4th step is like, the only thing I knew about myself is that I like to ride, and I like to get high. That's it. That's all I knew about myself. Obviously, I still like to ride, and I choose not to get high every day. But like I'm starting to learn about myself. Like I'm not some tough guy. I was never gonna be a kingpin. I just don't have it in me.
Right.
I'm actually like I like to say I'm a sensitive man who's also not a pushover. And, I'm starting to realize that, like, even though I suppress every emotion that comes that's not a happy emotion, like, I'm sensitive, it is, and it is what it is.
Hey, man. Everybody's got their own style, dude. It's interesting, though, like, we were just joking about the whole emotions and feelings thing. That's one of the hardest things for people to get over when they first start to get a little time under their belt, because you spend all those years suppressing a lot of shit. I'm pissed off, I'm gonna go drink or get high. I'm sad, I'm gonna drink or get high. I'm
gonna go drink or get high.
Yeah, and then like, not that's the crazy part, right? Like, none of us went, wait a minute, no matter what it is, I'm gonna drink or get high.
Yep.
It was like an excuse to do that, which, it's sad, but in our own little wicked, twisted minds, dude, we can justify anything.
Yeah.
And it's sad, but it's true. I just, that was tough for me to deal with, and I think a lot of it was because my dad died. I was 19 years old, and I never took the time to really grieve. I'm not saying I didn't cry and, have my moments or whatever, but I don't think I really, sat down and, took the time to grieve. So.
Or even probably knew how.
Well, that's probably a good part of it too. I mean, it was just one of those things that, I just remember going right to drinking, smoking weed when I found out.
Yeah.
That was my thing, right?
Yeah.
So you said you went to rehab. Where'd you go to rehab at?
The second time I went to, Bowling Green. It's out in Mushroom Country, Kennett Square.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's a state rehab. You can find whatever you want there. You want recovery, you can find it. You want to get high, it's there.
Yeah. It's sad, but true. I think that's probably most places, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Not as much when I went to RCA the first time.
Okay.
But also, I think because RCA was so cushy, it was like a vacation. I'm like living in a hotel.
Maybe, but I think a lot of it has to do with if you're not ready to do it, you're not going to do it, man. That's why, these shows, interventions, and all that shit that you see on TV or whatnot, man. You can, blindside somebody with it and, trick them, whatever. But in reality, man, if that person is not ready for that, it's not going to happen, man. And it's sad, but it's true. Because until you're ready to give up, so to speak, it's not going to happen. Because, I quit drinking for a while in my 20s, and I actually sat down one day and tried to figure out the age range, and it's just a huge blur for me. So I think it was 22 through 25-ish.
Okay.
But I wasn't sober.
Yeah. You were abstinent.
I just didn't know. I quit drinking, but I was still smoking weed.
Oh, okay.
Doing Molly, you know what I'm saying? So I wasn't drinking, but I wasn't
It's funny you say that because I had a slip up since I got out of rehab. And there was 2 times. One time this girl wanted to hang out. We went and got pizza, and then she's like, "You want to get a hotel room?" I'm like, "Sure." She's like, "All right, I have a bottle in my trunk." I'm like, okay. She's like, "And I got some weed and some blunts." Yeah, and I had snuck out of the recovery house. The house manager didn't even know I left because I waited for him to go to bed. And, I took a couple shots, drank a beer, hit a blunt a couple times. And in my head, because I hadn't done any step work yet, I was like, well, I wasn't doing meth, which was my DOC. And then my brother's birthday party last year, July 18th, 2021, it's funny. Everybody was drinking all day, and I made it until like 9:30 at night without drinking.
Yeah.
And then finally, I had like one of those fuck it moments, and I grabbed a beer out of the cooler, went outside behind the house, and chugged it so nobody would see. And I think I did that twice, and then I came in and he had a bottle of Patron. I'm like, pour me a shot, dude, you know? And so I had like 2 beers, probably 5 or 6 shots that night. And to me, like in my head, I'm like, well, I didn't go overboard. I didn't like black out, and I didn't go back out to my DOC.
Wasn't doing math. Yeah.
That, you know,
Yeah.
and the only people I told were people who aren't in the rooms. So they co-signed that.
Yeah.
They're like, well, you're not sticking a needle in your arm anymore, so it's all right.
But
And
you knew, though, if you told anybody in the rooms, they'd have been like,
yes.
Yeah.
But I didn't really, it didn't click in my head that I had done something wrong until I got to the end of my first step and I was going over it with my sponsor. And I didn't say anything. And I didn't write about it in my first or second step. At the end of the third step in NA, there's some question. It's like, what are you holding back that's like holding you back in recovery? And I wrote that down. And I waited like a month and a half to go over it because I knew I couldn't just like gloss over that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I knew I couldn't just like skip that question. And
at that point, you're only really just cheating yourself.
yeah.
You know?
It was a huge weight lifted off my shoulders. I told him, his brother's actually my best friend, and he wanted me to give him his 10-year medallion at his home group.
Okay.
And I gave him his 10-year medallion, and then he spoke, and his brother was there, my sponsor. And I just knew, as soon as he got done speaking, I walked over to my sponsor, and I was like, yo, come outside. I need to talk to you.
Okay.
And I told him, he's like, go back inside, share about it, put your hand up. And it was a very humbling experience.
Yeah.
But it was a huge weight lifted off my shoulders. Like it, you know, I was going through like a really bad depression before that. Like when I first got clean, I would text people every day. Like I had like 30 or 40 people that I would hit with like have a good day.
Right.
And I had stopped doing it for like 5 or 6 months. And I was down in the dirt, you know. I've kind of started it back up again. I have started texting certain people who reached out to me
Right.
when I was, you know, dealing with my stuff.
Right.
I cherish those people because they knew something was wrong with me and I didn't even really know. Or I knew, but I didn't know what. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the kicker is that somebody else in my area got honest because I did. You know? And like the fact that like I helped somebody else from potentially, not only did I help myself from potentially going back out and dying, not of an overdose, but you know, the lifestyle is what's going to kill me.
Yeah.
But I helped somebody else. And maybe I mean, I don't know, but maybe I saved their life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, just like I was saying earlier about, like, you know, you're like, oh, I don't, dude, doing that, somebody in that room could have been sitting on something.
Yeah.
And they went, you know what, man? I got something.
Yep.
It's crazy how it works. It's crazy how 2 alcoholics or, you know, 2 drug addicts can sit in a room and it can be life-changing.
Yeah.
Just by talking about it. And that's what's weird, dude. Like, I was never the type of person to sit down and talk about my feelings and, you know what I mean? I come from that, like, you know, bottle it up.
Until you're like 35 and have a heart attack.
Yeah. Or snap.
Yeah.
Like that movie Falling Down or whatever, when a dude finally snaps
I don't think I've seen it.
on the freeway, Michael Douglas. You gotta watch it, dude. It's like a dude that's got like a 9 to 5, you know, wears a suit and tie, glasses, job grind every day, goes to work, blah, 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 and then he just snaps one day and just goes nuts because he just bottles everything up his whole life.
As men, that's kind of like, how we feel we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's because we're addicts and alcoholics.
No, I think that's how it used to be.
Yeah.
I think that you know, all this new stuff that's coming out now, whether you agree with it or not, or whatever, it's, you know, that's another channel. You know, I think a lot of that stuff's changing. I think that's, you know, I even talked about that, I think, on the last podcast. That, I think it was the podcast I did with Clutch. You know, you don't realize how things change. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse, but that's one of those things. And then also, like, you go through the process and, you know, you start to realize you have feelings and stuff like that. So then you think, okay, man, I'm going to complete this. Not complete it because you never stop. I mean, you do your steps, you turn around, you start over, you know. But you get to the end of the first round, let's say, and you, I don't know, maybe I was the only one that thought that, but there might be people out there that think that like, you think you get to the end, you know, and you're going to be like, ah, and everything's going to be fixed.
Yeah.
Nah.
Well, I've heard some people say that, but...
And it does.
Yeah.
Okay? For some. But then there's other people out there that realize they got a little bit more bigger issue.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the people that have to go to, like, some kind of therapy or whatever. You know, man, I'm not talking about, like, you got to be, like, a lifetime sitting at a therapist's office. But if you do a couple sessions and then, you know, they start digging in, and it's crazy how they'll find, like, this little thing that you say that you think is just completely trivial. And they'll be like, wait, go back. Let's go back and talk about that. And then they start pulling it apart and you go, holy shit, dude, I got some issues here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's basically, they found out that I had, like, a little PTSD.
Yeah.
From dealing with my dad. And I didn't know it. But, okay.
Yeah.
You know? So, like, you know, I think that what I'm trying to say in a long-winded way is, you should never be afraid of taking those extra steps to, you know, fix, correct, address any of those issues. Yeah, so, I mean, I think that there's potential for people out there to go to therapy, do some other stuff. You know, this is stuff, though, like bringing in somebody like yourself that's, you know, just over a year. There could be somebody out there watching that's going through the same stuff.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you keep bringing guys in that have 30 years, 25 years, which is phenomenal. And I always suggest that.
And those are honestly the people I tend to surround myself with.
Perfect. That's what you should do. Because in my mind, and look, I'm not saying it's the right way, but in my mind, when you are around those people, those are the people that are living it. That's how they've strung together all those days of being sober, clean, whatever. Mm-hmm. You know,
but actually, so I don't care how much time you have. Mm-hmm. If you're serious, then, like, I want to be around. You know, I want to be around people who are serious about this.
Yeah.
Like, not. You know, because I come from a town with a lot of recovery houses. This is also a town with a lot of recovery houses, you know?
Yep.
And, you know, going to meetings in recovery house towns, you see a lot of fashion show shit and, you know.
The dick measuring contest.
Yeah, trying to get girls.
This is the fifth time I've been, I talked about that.
Yep.
And that's, you know, unfortunately, those are the types of meetings that I don't feel like you're going to get anything out of that. And, you know, it sucks because
I go to them because I could give something there.
Right. And dude, now you're walking in there going, well, you got a square head on your shoulders going, okay, man, you know, I'm going to offer something to these guys. But part of me goes, how many of those people are going to pay attention to that because they're too focused on the other outside shit that's going on?
Yeah.
And there, you know, there are some really fantastic meetings here in my area.
Yeah.
It's just these people that are doing these, particular meetings need to branch out and maybe hit some of those meetings.
Yeah.
And they'll see that, that type of meeting is not really conducive to you getting clean and or staying clean and sober. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Because, if you're making it look like it's okay, when are you really going to get it?
Yeah.
And I think that there's a lot of the people that don't give themselves enough time to do it.
Yeah.
Are the ones that keep going in and out.
Yeah.
You never got to the point where you're like, holy shit, my life is 1,000 times. You'll say it, oh man, it's the best I ever did it, but you're not really like feeling it, seeing it. Because dude, even with me, man, my first 2 years, I half-assed it. I was going to meetings and stuff like that, but I didn't work steps. My sponsor sucked.
Yeah.
And I know he'll never see this, so for me to say that is not going to be a problem. But the second guy that I got was freaking phenomenal. And, I can't thank him enough for that. Because he really showed me what it meant to do the process.
Yeah.
What it meant to be a part of a home group, what it meant to be, doing speaking arrangements, all that stuff that goes with it. And then also just reaching out and helping other people in the rooms.
Yeah.
And I didn't get any of that the first time around. And part of that was, look, dude, okay, I said he sucked, but you know what? I have to take accountability for some of that as well.
Yeah.
Because, hey, man, maybe I didn't ask enough questions. Or, hey, man, maybe I didn't push hard enough to be like, I don't know what I'm doing, dude. I need you to help me.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, hey, man, I'm not drinking. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But, once I started to get some time under my belt and I started to really do this process, it was an amazing turn of events for me. Not only mentally, but spiritually, and then also just things in my life that started to change for the better.
Yeah.
And I always say it's because of my higher power or whatever, but other people, might have different reasons in their mind that they feel like that changed, which is fine.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own little way. But, what hit home for me was family members that were like, dude, you've changed a lot, like for the better. Like, not that you were a complete asshole before, but you've definitely, where you take the time to evaluate, think things through. I have a problem, a compulsivity problem, where like, and I think a lot of it has to do with it deals with its addiction, right? Like where I'm like, dude, gotta go buy a new truck, gotta go buy a new truck. And then all of a sudden I'm like out buying a new truck and I'm like, what the hell am I doing, dude? Why did I just do that? Or, I gotta have this brand new TV, gotta get this, man. And it's like in my head, it's like, it's constant. It's like a loop.
Yeah.
Gotta buy it. So, it's like you're replacing one thing for another. Those are the things that I think once you get to a point and you start working out those things is when everything starts to kind of click.
Yeah.
Where you go, okay, man, this is what I was looking for. I wasn't one of those people that saw the light and had this like spiritual awakening or whatever, but I did have a moment where it seemed like it clicked for me. And that's why I always hope that people that are new get to that point.
Yeah.
And I think that the people that go back out are the ones that didn't get to that point.
Yeah.
They didn't give it enough time to see that this actually does work. I mean, dude, you don't have a program that's been around for all these years for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And now you've actually hit a whole different level with hanging around with the club.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, we joked about this before we started the podcast, but, like I always call it like, recovery on steroids, because it is, man. Like, you're going to get to see a part of this that a lot of people will never get to see.
No.
And it's,
in all honesty, like on the way back from the trip a few weeks ago, last week, like I was talking to my mom, and she's not, she's not a motorcycle person. You either are or you aren't. There's absolutely no in the middle that I've found. Either you love it or you hate it.
Right.
And she's on the hate it side. And I was trying to explain to her like why I had so much fun down there, even though like I was working. You know what I mean? It wasn't a vacation, but it was the best time that I've had in a while. And there's no words for it, especially for somebody that hasn't been there and doesn't get it. Like it was amazing. It really was.
Yeah, dude. I like to hear that, man. It is too, though. That's probably one of my favorite things that we do. That trip down there is just, gives you a lot of time to bond with your brothers. So, we see each other all the time and stuff like that, but a lot of it's like, we're in the middle of going somewhere, doing something. To have those days where it's like you wake up, you're hanging with your brother, you go to bed, you're hanging with your brother until you go to bed. Like it's like that whole process of just being there.
Yeah.
I had to hang around with the club for a year before I could even prospect, because you had to have a year back then of sobriety.
Yeah.
And I started hanging out with these guys. I think I was like a month sober. So I had to hang out for a year, man.
Yeah.
And then, I had to go through the prospecting and stuff like that. But when I saw the trip going down, I was already sold on it. That solidified it for me.
Yep.
And, part of it is, the beach thing at the end was like, I don't know what it was about that. I was starting to get feelings back. But B, to see what it was truly about, that people will never, ever get to see that are outside. Just, man, it hit me in the feels big time. And at that point, I was like, this is really what I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to be here. I want to earn that patch.
Yep.
And I'm going to do everything I can and then some to get that patch. And I did. I mean, that was my goal. It's what I was only a couple months into prospecting, and I had to move to Arizona for work.
Yeah.
And it broke my heart because I was so close to achieving what I wanted to achieve. And then for whatever reason, God pushed me back to the East Coast, and I was able to achieve that. And it was just, man, probably one of the happiest days of my life. And then, what was really cool about it was, I had a really good sponsor in the club, Sparks. Okay.
Yeah. I like Sparks.
And I was friends with him before.
Yeah.
So to have him help me get to that point and share that moment with him, and then also to share that moment with Smooth, because Smooth and me were prospected at the same time.
Okay.
And him and I were like, what I'm saying? And to share that moment with him was just freaking amazing, dude. I just remember me and him hugging each other going, dude, we did it. Because him and I, man, we had some struggles with prospecting. Not me and him, but, like screwing up.
Yeah.
So just to be like, oh, man, I made it. Made it, dude. We made it. It was freaking awesome. I couldn't wait to get my patches on my back and just ride. I was like so excited, dude. One of the greatest days of my life, man. But, now though, you get to experience that and you get to see the other side. But then you also start to see, look, man, I got to bust my ass to get that. Me getting high or drinking stopping me from getting that, ain't no way, dude.
Yeah.
No way, dude. It's just, Why would I want to do something stupid like that? And that's how I feel now, till this day, 8 years later, almost 9. Why would I want to ruin that? And that's exactly what's going to happen. You know, so that's why I always say it's like, you know, recovery on steroids, because it's like, you know, you're still doing your work. You're still doing your recovery work. Yeah. But then you got a little extra. And then that little extra has some serious consequences if I don't. Yeah. And that's huge, dude. You know, man, and that's where I actually hope that, you know, maybe there's people out there that ride, that are seeing these videos, that might have a sober club around them. Whether it's in my area, it's in Texas, California. If you're clean and sober and you ride and you want to know about a club in your area, or who might be in your area, or maybe a contact or something, reach out to me, email me, message me on the channel. I'll help you. I will try to get in touch, because I know, you know, that we know people all over the United States. You know, I might personally not know them, but there might be somebody in the club that does. Yep. And I can direct you to where you need to go. So, or at least help you, advise you to go. Because it's a great investment in your life, you know, to add that little extra piece. So how long have you been riding?
So I started riding when I was 19. I had a Ninja 500.
Nice.
I was a sport bike rider up until recently. I think when I went down to Maryland to help put a bike together and go out for an event, was the second time I've ever ridden a Harley.
And then you were like, "What is this, dude?"
Yeah. I mean, and also it's like the way that I ride sport bikes, I'm gonna die.
Yeah, it just has that feel where you're like, dude, I gotta go fast. Yeah. I mean, look, dude, I'm not saying we don't rip it. We do.
But we're not doing 160, 180,
yeah, no.
200 mile an hour, you know.
I got no interest in doing that. Dude, I've been hit doing 60. I've been hit doing 35, 40. I went down doing 20.
Yep.
And I got to be honest with you, the pain hurts in all of them. It don't matter how fast you... So when I first started riding with the club, right, I was always afraid to go in fast. And I remember going down 95 and I was trying to keep up with the pack. We got to Patch's house. Car pulled me aside and he goes, "Dude, you're doing fine. We do 70. He's like, "We go to 80. You start drifting off." And I go, "Yeah, dude, I start getting scared. I get a little nervous, man." He's like, "It's fine, dude. Everybody does."
Yeah.
He's like, "You got to get used to it." He's like, "But I got to tell you something. The pain difference between 70 and 80, there is absolutely none."
Yeah.
You go down or get hit at 70 or 80, there is absolutely no difference. And I went, "Yeah, you're right." Like, I don't know why in my mind I justified, well, wait a minute, 70's, you know, 80, no. Dude, it's going to fucking hurt. Doesn't matter.
Yep.
That 10 miles an hour ain't going to matter.
No.
But, you know, it's also, too, dude, like, people have to get used to that. That's like, that's...
Well, and there's been guys that have... Close,
yeah,
you know?
There's been guys that have thought about joining, and they had to do that, and went, "No, I can't do this." You know, it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
Club life's not for everybody.
No.
So you started off with crotch rockets, and then you started to do the whole... Yeah, big difference, dude. Not only is the bike heavier, but the comfort level and the finesse of it's definitely different.
Oh yeah,
because you know,
especially the bike I had last weekend. I mean, if you're going under, 20 miles an hour, that thing turns like a battleship. You know. Yeah. At speed, it's fine because
that bike's been around, dude.
Yeah,
man. That's plus that bike doesn't really have ABS.
No,
it's yeah.
But I got a lot better towards the end of the weekend.
Well, and I think that's so. Here you go, man. Just like recovery, right? The more you do it, the better things get.
Yeah.
more you're riding, better things get.
And also taking suggestions from,
Yeah.
you and another guy.
Yeah.
Actually, another couple guys that gave me a lot of really good suggestions.
Yeah, man. And when I do that, I try not to come off as like a dick. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be like, hey, man, look, I'm just telling you this out of my own personal experience.
Well, luckily, I know that if nobody tells me, I don't know. And it's really, I've finally somewhat gotten past I always had to learn things the hard way.
Yeah.
And I actually, to the best of my ability, I try to listen to people when they give me suggestions. And that's really benefited me in recovery, riding in the pack, everything. You know what I mean?
Well, so part of that is like putting aside your ego. You got to humble yourself and be like, okay, man, look, I don't know everything.
Yeah.
And, these guys have been around a long time. And the bottom line is, this is one of the things you got to remember when you're in the pack, dude. The guy in front of you, the guy next to you, the guy behind you, nobody wants to go down.
Yeah.
So everybody's going to be doing the best of their ability to make sure that doesn't happen. So, when new guys come into the pack and they don't know that, A, they're nervous. And B, they're unsure of a lot of things. So when people come up and say, hey, man, dude, when you're in the pack, now's not the time to sightsee. Keep your eyes on the road. Because at the split second, dude, somebody jams their brake and you're like, hey, look at that. Bam. That's when it happens.
Yep.
It's happened before.
Yeah.
It's just the little things like that, dude. And people will come off sometimes as dickish when they give you suggestions. Just like in recovery, dude. Some of them old guys, man.
Yeah.
I know. I had a bunch of older dudes that were like, sit down, shut up, and listen. Sit on the edge of the seat. Pretend like everything that's coming out of that person's mouth is the best thing you ever heard. Like all the old sayings. And yeah, man, look, you just got to go, okay. You know better than I do, dude. You've been doing this a lot longer than me.
Yeah.
I'm going to listen.
Yeah.
It's tried and true.
Well, and a lot of them have made the mistakes.
That too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
man.
learn from them, especially the guys who have been around, like for my fellowship since it started,
Yeah.
or like when it was really young and we
Yeah.
didn't have all this literature, or they were there for all the mistakes. They were there for like that learning period.
Yeah.
For Narcotics Anonymous.
That's why I like the Gray Book, dude.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of the Gray Book.
I heard you bring that up.
Yeah, man. Freddie, who was actually on the podcast, he's the one that turned me on to it. It's really interesting, man, and it's really written into layman's terms. Where there's, and I think a lot of it has to do with the time period that it was written compared to the Blue Book. Blue Book was 30s ish. I forget what the dates are, but NA was later's 60s or something like that. So, they're not using words that we don't use anymore in the book. So it makes it a little bit, I don't want to say dumbs it down, but it's just more layman's terms, man, where it's more palatable. When you read it, you're like, oh, okay. Not like, oh shit, dude, I gotta go look this word up because, I've never heard that word.
Yeah.
I did that a bunch of times in the Blue Book where I was like, geez, now I gotta go look this up because I'm like, I don't know what this word is.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm fairly, I'm a pretty good educated person, so for me, like, I'm like, oh, Jesus, what the hell is this, man? I'm never even, but, right on, man. So then, you're kind of new to the Harley lifestyle as far as the bikes and stuff like that. And man, I think that me, when I started to do trips is when I really appreciated the fact that it was a Harley.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well,
you're not 30 minutes in and your both legs are asleep.
Yeah, dude. I mean, look, I still have issues because of, me having back surgery and stuff like that and, carpal tunnel and, but the comfort level there is 1,000 times better than, bent over. I don't even think I could ride well, first of all, I'm too fat to be riding a crotch rocket. I look like a bear on a tricycle. But even if I wasn't, with me having back surgery, being bent over like that, oh man, nah, I couldn't do it. I mean, I did it, back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And, I realized too that I was like, man, this is way too much. This is dangerous, dude, because, you want to keep pushing.
Mm-hmm.
There's times where you're riding and you'll be pushing and you don't even know it.
Yeah.
And then you look down and you're like, oh shit, dude, I got to slow down, dude. I'm doing 95 or 100, So especially with bigger bikes, like my new bike, yeah, you wouldn't even know it.
Yeah.
It's not like you're screaming, or vibrating to the point where you're like, if you're doing that on a Sportster, you oh my God, when's it gonna fall apart? But that's cool, man. I mean, did you, think that you were gonna get into the motorcycle club world?
Or just happened
like on by chance?
So I've always been interested.
Okay.
The thing that stopped me when I was getting high is like, when I'm getting high, I can't trust me. So how the hell am I going to trust anybody else if I can't even trust myself? Yeah,
I mean, it's already dangerous enough. And then to add drinking or doing drugs on top of it, that's crazy, dude. Like, dude, even when I was drinking, I had friends or whatever that would bar hop.
Yeah.
Not me, dude. I don't want to say never. Very, very rarely drank when I was riding. Because I was just...
It made me ballsy.
But that makes you stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's, ballsy.
I didn't care if I went down.
Right.
You know?
I remember an old guy telling me one time, there's the riders that have wrecked and the riders that haven't wrecked yet. And you could tell the difference when they're going down the road.
Well, see, when I was drunk, it didn't matter that I've wrecked.
Yeah.
It was like, all that fear that I would have, not drunk, or even like if I smoked pot and I hopped on a bike, like, I'm going slow. I'm like over in the slow lane. You know what I mean? But I drink and I'm trying to find the max speed on that bike.
Get aggressive.
Yeah.
Dude, I wish you luck in the process, man. And, look, and I only say that because not everybody makes it, so I wish you luck in the process. And, I had this thought today, actually when you were texting me saying, hey, I'm going to be there, and I had a thought today and I was like, what would be cool, man? If I do the interview with you today and you make it, and then we sit down, I don't know. Let's hope this is around in a year and I interview you again.
Yeah.
And to see the difference. Maybe how you carry yourself. Maybe how you have a thought about the process. You got more time, clean time under your belt. Just to see the difference. And just to do, a revisit.
Yeah.
I thought that would be pretty cool.
That would I would be down. I would definitely be interested in.
Because I was like, you know what, dude, that would be interesting I think it would be interesting for the people out there too.
Yeah.
Because you know what, man,
and I think it would be interesting for me personally to kind of like see, because a lot of people tell me that I've grown and that I'm doing better, but it's really hard for me to see it sometimes.
Right, and that's what I was getting to earlier. Is eventually something's going to click where you're going to see it.
Yeah.
It's almost like, well, you don't have this problem, but like being a heavy set person, right? Like I'm getting ready to start back up now that I'm done with all my back surgery and stuff. I'm going to get ready to start back to the gym and start to drop weight. And you'll have people go, holy shit, dude, you're dropping, and you don't see it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden one day you wake up and you're like, holy shit, dude, I am dropping weight. Mm-hmm. Whether it's like, a shirt fits different, a pair of pants fits different. You get on your bike, it feels different, which ironically it does for me. It's weird. I don't even know how to explain it. Like when I lose weight, like I just feel different on the bike.
Yeah.
those are the times where you go, oh shit, dude. So it's the same thing though. Like, so people will see you as a person have changed, grown, and then all of a sudden they'll say stuff to you and you'll be like, oh cool, thank you, man, I appreciate it, or whatever, but you don't really see it. And then one day you're just gonna wake up and go, holy shit, dude, I do, you know, I have a pause button now where I go, you know, hey man, I want to go buy that truck. Whoa, wait a minute, dude. You got bills to pay. You got to do this. You got to do this. And then you go, okay, cool.
Well, I actually texted you when I watched the podcast with you and Carp because you brought up that gotta have it now feeling.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's where I was with getting my own motorcycle. Because currently, you know, I'm you know, I've got a year clean. And, you know, I just got my license back, just got a truck. I have bills.
Yeah, you got to prioritize, man. Yeah.
And that's where I was at. And, like, I'd be lying if I said thoughts of acquiring one not so legally hadn't come up.
Yeah, you don't want to do that, man.
No, I don't. But to say that the thoughts hadn't come up, I'd be lying.
Right, you're just like, in your mind, you're like, I got to get it no matter what.
Yeah.
See, that's part of the whole addiction thing, man. I think that's where you're like, you know, you'll get past all that eventually. I think it depends on the person, I guess, but
yeah. Well, I think I'll learn to cope with it more and learn to see it when it happens.
Yeah.
You know, and not act.
But yeah, man. So I think that'd be pretty cool to do that.
Yeah.
Do you want to bring up anything that we didn't touch on today?
I'd just like to say NA's message. You know, that any addict can stop using, lose the desire to use, and find a new way to live. You know, Narcotics Anonymous has saved my life because I don't know. You know, like I said, I'm proud. Chances are that with my DOC, I'm not going to overdose. Although today the chances are getting slimmer. But it's the lifestyle. It's the way that I act when I'm getting high. And like if I don't like someone, you know, I'll try to play God in their life because I don't like their morals or whatever, you know, maybe they looked at me wrong or whatever. And I honestly, I'm still surprised that hasn't gotten me killed, you know?
Yeah. Well, there you go, man. It's the lessons you learn. Well, man, I appreciate it, dude. Thank you for doing the show.
Thanks for having me up.
All right, everybody, I want to thank you for stopping by today. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the channel so you can see updates on videos that come out on a regular basis every Wednesday. We also do shorts throughout the week. This way, you know, we can try to keep you guys a little entertained. Sometimes it's about bikes. Sometimes it's about these little podcasts. I'll do little quick snippets. Also, don't forget, if you have a tattoo that you want to submit to me, email me at soberontwowheels@gmail.com. Send them in, folks. I want to see them. I'm going to feature them on our show. Matter of fact, I'm going to edit one in today that I got. So when I do the edits for this show, it'll be on this video. So I'll do a cool little surprise for everybody. And with that, I want to thank you all for coming by. Click on the next video. It helps me out. Have a great day.